everybody, it's time for our first guest. Please welcome from the Boston Herald, Jed Gottlieb. Welcome, Jed. Now, Jed, you are the senior music writer at the Boston Herald. Yeah. You have what's called guest listed, and you've been doing this for about 7 years now. Tell us, how did you get involved with the Herald?
Just begging freelance work here and there. I freelanced at the Dig and the Herald and the Phoenix, God rest its soul, and different places. And eventually, you just get the gig if you show up and you do enough. If you cover enough, Miley Cyrus shows and High School Musical and that kind of stuff, then eventually they're like, this guy will do anything, and then that's what happened.
But it's awesome. You've had some great interviews that you've put into the Herald. We were talking recently about Paul McCartney, who played at Fenway Park, and you got to interview him for that show, and tell us what happened there.
It was very good. It was on a Saturday. Normally I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone, but Paul McCartney, I'm like, any time that he can talk, just give it to me and I will do it. So it was on a Saturday. I was at home and I got the call and I went into my bedroom and my wife was listening at the door and I'm chatting on the phone and talking, and he was so nice. He actually, after I had my allotted 20 minutes or whatever, he was like, I don't really know anything about you. So he started asking questions about me. He was like, do you have kids? Do you have a dog? What's going on? I was like, this is really crazy. You should be doing something rock star but you want to chat.
Let me ask you, why didn't you let your wife in the room?
I would be so nervous. I can't talk to Sir Paul McCartney and.
Did you call him sir?
I did not actually.
Oh,
wow.
No.
I was trying to make up for it here, Paul. Sorry about that.
So okay, you get a little bit nervous, so your wife's not allowed in the room.
Yeah, no, but she really wanted to hear. So all she could hear was my inane questions. So she couldn't hear any of the good stuff. So.
And you also got to interview the Beastie Boys.
I did interview
How about
the Beastie
that, everybody?
Boys. Yeah. All three of them at a table with just a couple reporters, Herald Globe, a couple TV stations. They're really smart. You think you're just these guys are a bunch of
rappers who don't know much, but they're very intelligent.
So smart, yeah. And so you never realize how respectful some of these people are and how just nice people.
Yeah, musicians are actually nice people.
Not all musicians. Not every musician.
Not every musician, as we know that Tony, from Tony and the SKS House Band, sometimes a real pill. Just kidding. We go way back. Tony cuts my hair. All right. The Herald blog, guest listed, which it's online, and you do the articles for the Herald. You've also interviewed some other cool people, especially locally, some artists that we've had on the show. Let's talk about a few of your favorite.
Yeah, I love the local scene. I kind of got into it because I realized, hey, I can see a band that I love 5 times a year instead of once, or every once in a while. So, big favorites, Doom Lover, who you have tonight.
Tonight's
yes,
band. How about that, everybody? Doom Lover.
Yeah. Ruby Rose Fox. I love Will Daly, who I think has been on here.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Will played our anniversary show. He helped us raise money for Dana-Farber.
Yeah. Township, who has also played your anniversary show. So there's just a ton of. It's such a rich musical landscape. There's so many good people here.
Is there anyone that you've interviewed lately that might be a new band or solo performer that people don't know about yet that you might want to talk about?
Someone new. I don't know. Locally, I always feel like I wait until the Rock and Roll Rumble, which is Angel Wood's thing, and then I kind of that's my crash course. I go to all those shows, and then I find out who I'm gonna follow for the next year locally. A couple of great bands. When Particles Collide, didn't know anything about them. Saw them at the Rumble. It was amazing. Had them at Red Star. Had them over to do one of my guitar videos. So we're a couple weeks away from that. That's where I'll find my new my favorite new stuff.
Outside of the bands too, you do this guest listed guitar acoustic thing where you sit down, you play the guitar, and you told me not very well.
Yes.
Listen, you play the guitar,
Yeah.
and people come on and they play songs with you and they talk about their music, and that's kind of the acoustic scene we find here when we have bands on. It's a little bit different than the full rock and roll scene in Boston.
Yeah, it's cool. I wanted to do something just, not necessarily lessons, but something that made me excited about the guitar again, because I felt like kind of stuck and wasn't going anywhere, and I was like, I have access to all these people. I really should abuse this power as much as possible. And I did, and it's really fun. You know, it's more about sort of like the mojo and like sort of the feeling and like what they love about playing, and you know, and I try and pick up a little thing, but it's not like learn this riff. It's just like, hey, you know, maybe strum a little differently, or maybe, you know, try this, and to get people excited about playing.
One of the acoustic performers we've had on the show a few times, one of my dad's favorite is Vance Gilbert. I'm not sure if you had him on that yet, but you should call him up. He is actually a resident here of Arlington. How about that, Vance Gilbert? And he's done some amazing things with his resume. He used to open up for famous comedians. George Carlin is one of them, which I just thought was strange that you have an acoustic guitar player opening up for George Carlin. But yeah, he's awesome and very approachable. You mentioned Red Star Union. Now, this is a venue in Cambridge. It's very professional, where they do HD videos that stream online.
Yep.
And you've hosted a few events there.
Yeah.
Now, how does that happen? What are you doing there?
They were just kind of looking for like curators, people to help them find cool acts, and then to, you know, introduce them to the crowd, and sort of let, you know, I just sort of let people know what they're all about. So again, like a lot of local people that I've done, again, Ruby Rose Fox and Hallelujah the Hills, When Particles Collide, and then a couple like, you know, sort of bigger names. But we're still, you know what it's like. You know, you're trying to like land those like whales to get them in there. But it's a great studio. They do, you know, it's similar to what you do. You know, it's like this great. It's celebrating the arts.
They have a lot more money in that studio than here in our public access facility, but we do the best we can, right, everybody?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Before we go, Jed, I know that you have an event with Township and Animal Talk, and it's on May 7th. It's a guest listed event, right?
Yeah. It's basically, I just, again, like abusing my power. I was like, you know, I'm having these guitarists over. Let's like put them at a bar. It's at Atwood's. And I just want people to hear what I love and you know, get them into it. So this is a way. Then, you know, it's hard when you're writing and being like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you can hear it, see it, that's when
Well,
you
I
fall
know
in love.
many people that love your writing. Now, if you want to send people online to find all your guest listed stuff, where do they go?
You can Google guest listed. I'm usually the first thing, but you can go to bostonherald.com, and I'm right there, you know, between the other stuff.
Well, listen, we appreciate you coming down here. We know we push it hard to try to help musicians, and you're doing a lot with the Boston Herald. Ladies and gentlemen, Jed Gottlieb. Thank you, sir, for coming. All right, we'll be right back right after this.